This is a Minecraft movie about my 100 days of survival. I decided to edit the explorations, constructions, and battles of the original gameplay along with the camera footage, so you can watch an adventure full of mods, new animals, biomes, and bosses as if it were an animation. Already leave your like and make a popcorn to accompany this movie. This is me, a young man lost in the woods looking for resources to survive. The first thing I must do is collect some wood, meat, and other animal resources. With a little wood I can already make my first tools to help with hunting and exploration. The first deer appear. Along with them some new structures also appear. In some of them there may be chests or barrels with interesting items. After I manage to collect wood and food, I start looking for some village, so I can get shelter. I can trade with villagers and set up my house. But it's not always easy. Many villages are hidden around the world and you have to walk a lot to get there. With the wool of the sheep I can make my bed and thus avoid the monsters of the night. With the mine stones I take the opportunity to make a furnace and stronger tools than the wooden ones. After the first night's sleep, I was able to cook some meat and improve my weapons and tools. I also made some torches to light up caves and other dark environments. Now I'm ready to explore this world more safely. Looking for villages by the sea or by rivers is always a good idea. An abandoned boat can be the result of items I didn't know about. Ruins and traps can also be found on this map, but to get a better view, I'll make a very high tower to see the horizon. Unfortunately, I haven't found anything very useful, but the exploration continues. Another abandoned boat, but without items I can use. During my navigation I ended up finding an abandoned portal, and in it a golden armor. In this world gold is not worth much, but it is better than nothing. I continue my exploration of this giant world. I'll have to spend one more night in the woods until I find a place to call home. I decided to continue my search for land. Passing through mountains and caves, I found pollinizing cows. They help bees to produce honey. And finally, after much searching, I found the first village. Next to it there is a ravine that will be very useful to search for ores. Next to this village there is a mill and a small farm. This looks like a great place to build my first house. I'm looking for some items that might be in the villagers' chests, but I haven't found anything very relevant so far. The work tools that exist in this location will be useful in determining the professions of each villager in the village. I got some food and iron around here. Now I need to see if the traditional houses in the village also have something useful, which they usually don't. I ended up finding few accessories, but anything is better than nothing. So I put away the items and start researching the best place to do my homework. It will be a base built inside the mountain as if it were a ruin. Now you will follow the construction of my house. I had to demolish a large part of the mountain, collect enough wood for tools and for the structure. I also had to heat up and cut rocks to get the materials I wanted for the building. In addition to my house, I also took the opportunity to create a wheat plantation. Wheat helps me to make bread and to reproduce many animals such as cattle and sheep. I took the opportunity to make a small enclosure to gather the chickens. In addition to providing food, chickens also provide feathers that are needed to create arrows. And so was my house on the mountain. It doesn't seem like much, but I'm already on day 44. I spent 6 hours demolishing stone, getting wood, building and arranging items. The plantation I made is enough to provide me with a huge amount of bread and feed the animals on the farm I am starting. Chickens eat the seeds and multiply quickly. Internally I decided to make a very practical house. Bed, chests and ovens close by, a work table and lighting. With that I'm already protected and I can start investing in better weapons, items and armor. I usually separate the items between the ones I consider most important, vegetable items, wood, stone. Now my priority is to protect, illuminate and surround the entire village, as I will provoke an enemy invasion to get the Totem of Immortality. So enough rambling and let's start this renovation. I'll need a lot of wood, as renovating the land makes the tools wear out very quickly. Building bridges and fences will make me escape to safety if the raid goes wrong. Pillagers ended up arriving in my village earlier than planned. To avoid an invasion now, I will throw them in a hole. I will also need wool to make carpets over the fence. This makes it easier for me to walk through it in times of desperation. I lit up the whole village with poles and torches. I also took the opportunity to battle some skeletons and zombies to gain some experience. I also gathered the golems that were lost near the village. They will help me in the fight later. He brought several pollinating cows and sheep, both of which will be a source of food, leather, and wool. These monsters drop items when they die, so I take the opportunity to get some for myself. Fights at night are always more dangerous. The amount of enemies always increases on all sides. And this was the first time I died in the game. Almost on the 70th I ended up dying to a dwarf zombie. It's extremely annoying, but I can't do anything either. He runs much faster than me. I recovered my items and now I will renew the plantation. I created a pen for the cows and other quadrupeds. After everything is surrounded, it's time to look for an enemy tower to provoke an invasion of my village. Along the way I look for coal, which I've been using a lot, and iron to make a shield. Now that I'm equipped for this first battle, I'm going to make a small tower to locate myself and respawn in case I die here. To protect myself from the arrows, I ran inside the tower, so I can collect hidden items before entering the battle. These new towers have new chests and sometimes some animal trapped, so I ended up freeing and getting my first animal. The battle begins, but it's nothing too exciting. We were shooting arrows at each other, each trying to run away and attack as best they can. I also attack my opponent's feet and legs so they can't attack me. I ended up finding some wolves and decided to use the bones of the skeleton I defeated to train him. This wolf will help me attack pillagers and night monsters. He has a great attack, but he could end up dying if I'm not careful who attacks him. In case he gets weak, I can feed him so he can recover his energy. At night it's better to sleep than fight if you're in an open field. But it's not possible to sleep when there are monsters around, so I need to move my bed to a place that feels safer. There, I found it. Oops, a creeper appeared that I ended up dying. All my items were left at the place of my death, but if I can get back in time, I will get them back. I arrived on time and retrieved my items. The main objective is to defeat the pillager who has a banner on his back. He is the leader of this group. Upon defeating their boss, they will go after me in the village where I live, which is my main plan. My wolf is helping me a lot in the fight, but he is also being targeted by evil attacks. If he continues like this, he could end up being killed by enemies. They keep appearing from all sides, and so my wolf ends up being defeated. Now I will train his brother so that together we can avenge the death of the warrior wolf who left us. After the objective is reached, it's time to run to our village and protect everyone there from the onslaught that will start soon. If I manage to win this raid, I'll earn the immortality totem, which will help me in more complicated moments, like the fight against the Ender Dragon. The first level of raid is not difficult. I took my iron golem into battle, but he doesn't seem too excited to fight, but after a little insistence, he beats some opponents. Now on the second level the enemies are coming from the top of the mountain. I completely forgot that this could happen, meaning my village is not as protected as I had thought. Some enemies were hidden inside the mountain, but I ended up finding and killing them. In the third level it starts to get more complicated. The big bull, called Ravager, appears. He is very strong. On the fourth level everything started to go insane. New enemies appear across the mountain. Iceologer can freeze me, slow me down and still deal a lot of ice damage. Four witches have also appeared and start casting poison spells on me and strength spells on my opponents. The fifth level gets even worse. I start dying over and over again. My golem tries to help but is also defeated. Even though I'm at a disadvantage, I continue in the fight and go for the Vindicator and other enemies. After I got hit a lot, I got the Totem of Immortality, but the raid isn't over yet and this isn't the time to use it either. I still need to defeat the flying demons that have been summoned and remain protecting the villagers in my village. At this point the only thing I do is die, run to retrieve my items and die again. With my consecutive deaths I end up without my armor and without my weapons around. This makes me easily defeat. Among my failures I manage to do some damage to enemies, and eventually they die. I'm dying so many times that many of you may think I'm repeating the video. But in fact I'm dying so many times I've lost count. Leave in the comments the amount of deaths I had if you have the patience for it. The battle seems endless, that's because it is, and there's not much I can say at the moment to justify how ill-prepared I am. I thought it would be easy, but not really. I'm embarrassing myself on the internet for not being able to defeat square monsters. But life is like that, sometimes it's good, but other times it's pretty shit. Still I don't give up, I need to finish this battle, or I won't be considered decent enough to post gameplay videos. I defeated Iceologer, with that I unlocked an achievement, but the raid continues. I need to focus on the Ravager who is still alive and the possible enemies that still remain, but it's not all up to me. During my battle with the bull, the raid indicator disappeared. I do not know what happened. I looked for other lost enemies, I defeated them all, but the defeated raid didn't bring me the Hero of the Village achievement. And that's how I won the most messed up raid of my life. My cat died, my iron golem died too, I think some villager must have died too, but still, I won. It doesn't matter if you win the easy way or the hard way, in both options the enemies' bodies will continue to burn in hell. The problem is that I lost too much time and I'm already past day 80. The idea was to defeat the Ender Dragon in 100 days, but I still need to mine and go to the Nether to find the items needed to find the way to the end. So I get ready to mine, which is one of the most boring things about this game, even though it's about mining. I need more ores, iron and lots of diamonds. Also it would be nice to enchant my items, which is another thing I don't have the patience to do. In addition to the ores I also need ender pearls, so defeating endermen is part of my obligation. The new gigantic caves are a great opportunity for you to find a bunch of nothing. Even looking a lot I almost don't find what I need. What little patience I have is being used now. But all in the name of the path to the Nether. As if I wasn't dumb enough already, I ended up bringing my dog to mine with me. His brother has suffered enough in the tower break-in, wolf number 2 shouldn't have any other problems. I hope he doesn't run into a creeper. Oops, I'm sorry. At least I started to find a lot of iron in this hole. But I'll need to collect more wood so I can craft more pickaxes and cook all that ore. In addition, I also need to increase the amount of animals on my farm to have more food. I'll also catch fish to feed cats, so they'll help me scare away the cave creepers, as that abominable creature is afraid of cats. Now I can go back to looking for diamonds. The cat won't stop meowing, which is extremely annoying, but at least it gives me the feeling that there's a living being that is my friend nearby. Some enemies appear, but after the invasion we suffered in the village, nothing bothers me anymore. As long as I find diamond, defeating enemies won't be a headache. After doing something that should never be done, digging down, I found some annoying skeletons. I also dug a tunnel, and ended up finding a bigger cave. In addition to more enemies appearing, it is also a chance for us to have more opportunities to find good things. Looks like my luck is coming. I spotted some isolated diamonds on the cave walls. I hope more of them will appear and make my day worthwhile, as I am already approaching day 90 and I still have a lot to do. Cave adventures are never very interesting. This is the kind of place you only go for money or if you like to be scared. At least I'm managing to find some of what I need. Enemies also help me gain experience and recover my lost levels with the amount of times I died. I keep finding some more iron and diamond along the cave walls, but I don't find anything when I'm digging. Since I don't find anything worth much, I'll take the lives of those worth little, like zombies, skeletons, witches and anyone else who decides to get in my way. The only problem with this is that my shield, sword and axe are wearing out faster, which is not a problem as I've been finding a lot of ore around here. A monstrous amount of zombies exist in this cave. Unfortunately, they only give you rotten meat when they die. Rotten meat is not good for consumption, but for some reason the wolves of this world can eat it without getting sick. The skeletons provide me with a few arrows and bones, which are used to tame wolves or to make bone meal, ideal for crops. Besides all that, I need to find lava, because soon I'll mine obsidian to go to Nether. Now I need to melt the iron in the oven. I also need to break boulders to get flint, which is used to make arrows. Feeding the animals in my village, collecting the wheat and checking that everything is in order is what I'm doing so I can open the portal to the Nether. I also want to multiply the cats. After that I can leave them at strategic points in my village to prevent creepers from getting close. Now I'm going to get obsidian by pouring water into a lava fountain nearby. Obsidia is one of the hardest stones out there, so it can only be mined with a diamond pickaxe. My dog ended up stepping on lava, and with that he went to heaven, or hell, it depends on the life he had. With the stones collected, I can now create a flint and open the portal to Nether. I'm approaching day 100 and have just arrived at Nether. I was surprised by a ghast and piglins. I ended up dying for not paying attention. Now I need to make a small base in this new dimension to protect myself from all kinds of bizarre monsters that appear there, even because with the mods I'm using new weird creatures can appear in this adventure, especially in Nether. What I can't do is keep dying because my focus here is to get more ender pearls, find a fortress and thus seek the sacred yellow dust of hell, which I forgot the name but it serves to create the ender's egg, which is the pearl that will guide me to the end. I ended up creating a bizarre situation with Nether zombies. Then I fought ghasts and fire creatures. They shoot fireballs in multiple directions at once and have armor that makes them nearly immune to arrows. I continued hunting the Ender Men but barely got any new pearls. The ghasts were running out of patience, but it was more my fault than theirs, as my aim was terrible this day. I was starting to realize that I had just a few days to go before I had spent 100 days in this game, and I still hadn't defeated the dragon. So it is. I just found out that some enemies explode when they die, and so I lost a lot of items, because under the cliff where I was there was a sea of lava. I managed to get some things back, but I lost several other important and valuable things. That way I won't be able to meet my own goal of defeating the dragon in 100 days. I think I'll need 100 more to power up and find all the new bosses before the final battle. I don't have my dogs anymore, but I have a huge family of cats. I hope I never die exploding like I just happened. Leave your like and don't forget to activate the bell to stay on top of the evolution of this map. Write your suggestions in the comments, because I will show them in the videos here on the channel. Be well everyone, and until the next video.